Why every successful person you see around in the world extensively read and advise you to do the same? Why in this whole world reading is regarded as the life-changing habit? Hi, I am Harshita and welcome back to the channel Believe. In this video, I will explain you the benefits of reading with proper reasons and logic, and why building this reading habit is very important, especially in today's digital age. The first positive impact that reading has is strengthening our brain. But what does this strengthening of brain means? Wait. First, imagine yourself in the best physical body. You having the balanced weight, those toned arms, legs, abs. You look amazing, huh? But wait. To achieve the body you just imagined, what do you have to do? The obvious answer is to consistently work out and eat healthy food over a long period of time. Right? So the point of this exercise was to remind you the importance of exercise for our physical body. Similarly, to be in its best form and work efficiently, our mind needs some kind of exercise consistently. And reading is one of the most important exercises for our brain. ठीक है ये तो पता ही था, समझ आ गया. But why we need brain strength? Tell me this. The simple answer in one line is to do complex tasks. So lately, I observed something unusual in my working capabilities and the way I perceive things. So what used to happen was, whenever there used to be a slightly complex task in front of me, I feared it a lot. I feared it to the point that it used to appear way bigger than what it was actually in reality. When I now look back, the tasks were not big enough or the complex enough that I feared them. But I did. When I searched for the reason, I found that I may or may not be correct, but I am convinced that the way we have lived our lives for last 1.5 years, that is in the pandemic, is somewhat different from what we used to live before the pandemic. We were all in the chill mode, and this resulted in our brains being in the slightly comfortable environment. We do not really had complex tasks or complex situations in front of us in last 1 or 1.5 years because we were mostly at homes. Okay, to be clear, I'm talking from a student's perspective. So moving on, when we do complex tasks, our brain works in such a way that different parts of it becomes active simultaneously. But our majority of time in last 1.5 years went doing something that does not really force different parts of brain to be active simultaneously, and I'm talking about consuming video content. What happens when we consume video content is we see and we consume, that's it. Mind usually works in a linear way. Things are going just in, nothing else is happening. But when we read, different parts of our brain gets active. Because different activities, small tasks happen when we read something. First of all, our mind has to read letters, words. Then we understand, then we speak. Either we speak out loud or we speak internally. Then our mind understands what's written. So the point is, in short, there are different parts of brain that gets active during reading. I know reading is not as complex as other tasks that we may have in our lives, but it's about keeping our brain in that habit of doing complex tasks. Because I have personally experienced it. So yes, reading does strengthen your brain, informing networks and forming the capabilities of our brain to undergo complex tasks efficiently. So the next benefit reading does is exposing you to the real world out there. Reading in general makes you smart. It basically widens your perspective. What happens? We often find ourselves stuck in petty fights or small things like, oh, how can my friend do this to me? Why didn't he tell me before doing this stuff? I should be informed first. I will take the revenge, and similar unimportant stuff. This happens because your brain has certain amount of energy that needs to be used. So if we can channelize this energy in the right direction, we can literally save ourselves from wasting our time into things that do not even need our attention. So how this will happen? Let's see. When you read different stuff, you come across many number of things that exist in the world that you can explore and learn about. So the more number of amazing things you come across, the more bigger your world gets. Because usually when we are younger, our world is small. And as your world is getting bigger, gradually you automatically start feeling like you do not really have to worry about stupid things in life. Why? Because the energy that you have, that your mind have, is now being used in learning about new things, is now being used while you are curious about such things. It is simply like filling your brain with right information and learn about amazing things that the world has to offer. Also, the more you learn about new things, the more topics you have to talk about. So whenever you find yourself in a gathering or in a public place, you have more topics to talk about. You become more interesting because people find you interesting because you have different topics to talk about. And this results in you feeling mature about yourself, and that is very important. Now, moving on to next. Reading prevents you from social's attack. What does that mean? Let's understand. The more the number of social media apps becoming inevitable part of your daily life, the more your ability to focus on one particular thing is decreasing. And that is something to worry about. You must have noticed that more short form content is being introduced on social media platforms, and that is resulting in your decreased attention span. But things in real life contrast. Things in real life take time. The goals that we have in our lives demand our attention and patience. But unfortunately, we are losing that gradually. So we consciously need to put in work to aid the muscle building, the focus muscle building. So we can make reading our habit. That will be the form of exercise that happen every 24 hours. We are consuming junk, we are consuming unhealthy food, and then we are eating gym to balance out that. Similarly, we are unknowingly consuming short form content, and then we'll have to do a certain activity that needs our proper focus and long duration of attention. That's when we will work on our focus muscle. Simple as that. During a long period of time, when you put in effort on a particular muscle to build that, similarly do certain activities, and reading is one of them. There are different activities, say for example meditation also helps in that, but reading is also one of them. You can practice this important exercise for building up your focus muscle. Next is cognitive decline. This is very simple. You must have seen elder people of your family forgetting things, and that will happen with you as well. As we age, the sharpness of our memory decreases. Studies have shown that people who have been reading continuously over years have sharp memory in their later ages as compared to people who did not read as much. So simple, keep reading continuously. You do not really have to worry much about it, but just build the habit of reading, and this habit of yours will definitely help you in future as well when you are old. So this was all about today's video. Do not forget to subscribe the channel. Few interesting Sunday videos are lined up. And on weekdays, I release audio part of the book so that you guys can consume books. Currently, we are reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. So the link to playlist of audiobooks is down there in the description. Go check it out and subscribe.